Hey y'all, it's Ashley here at the Realm of Comics, where we talk about everything graphic novels, comics, and manga related. I am here with my final wrap up of January. I know that it is super late. It's almost halfway through February, and I had not done my final wrap up. Y'all, I'm trying so hard to get it together. January was, if you follow me on my other channel, you will understand that January was an exceptionally difficult month for me, and I'm going through a lot of changes right now. And so while I'm reading a lot, because reading is providing me some form of escapism at the moment, you know, the idea of getting things filmed and done has been tough, but I've been trying to at least not have y'all wait more than like a week and some change before you get another video from me. Same thing on my other channel. I try to at least get 2 videos out a week, even though I've been kind of trying to figure out this balance with my mental health and everything. So the first thing that I would like to address is that in my mid-month wrap-up, I never did talk about the fact that I read Blood on the Tracks Volume 14. So we're going to talk about that first, even though technically it should have been covered in my mid-month. We're just going to talk about it now. So I read Blood on the Tracks Volume 14. I have since reading Volume 14, I've read Volume 15, but I will talk about that when we get to my February mid-month wrap-up, which at this point, it daggone near is going to be right on top. I'm about to pull up a calendar because I feel like it's literally going to be like on top of this. And I may just wait until the end of the month to do my February wrap up and then get back on track in March. But Blood on the Tracks Volume 14, there's not really much that I can tell you because of the fact that I'm so far into the series at this point. I'm daggone near at the end, and I could not be more happy to be at the end of the series because I'm highly and disgustingly disappointed in the direction that the series went in. I think I talked about a little bit last year where we take a like 20-year jump in between what was considered to be like the prologue, the prelude of the entire series. We were led to believe that this was going to be kind of like an extensive long series, and I thought that I was going to see a little bit more character development and really see the unraveling of our main character due to the issues that he has with his mother. But that's not what's happening. It feels very stale and feels like the story is not really moving anywhere. I gave this volume 3 stars, and I think I gave it 3 stars and I was being generous. It's lost its steam. The time jump, I think, really messed up the pacing of this entire thing. I don't know. Sechi just, he's still dealing with a lot. And once again, if you haven't read the series, I'm trying to be very mindful. I don't want to spoil anything because, like I said, at this point, I am beyond 15 volumes deep in the series, and I'm only still reading it because I'm literally so close to finishing it, because it's not a long series at all compared to like the amount of like, or I should say the lack of text. It's very much so an art-based manga. We rely heavily on the art to drive the narrative, but I'm telling you that Blood on the Tracks 14 just did not work for me. 3 stars. And I think I'm going to be a little bit more brutal by the time I start talking about volume 15, but I did not mention that in my mid-month wrap-up, so I wanted to start with that one. The next one that I ended up reading is a children's graphic novel, and that is Magic Treehouse, Night of the Ninjas. This is the 4th book, I believe, in the series. They're slowly adapting the actual original Magic Treehouse series. Now, I don't know if they're going to do a graphic novel adaptation for each one of the books, but that seems to be the direction that they're going in right now. This is the 4th one, and at the time of me reading this, I had not, like, it hadn't been too long, I should say, since I had finished the actual prose version of Night of the Ninjas. They're short, they're quick reads. They really do pair well with fans of the series. Like, if you have younger readers, or if you as an adult really enjoy the Magic Treehouse series, or if it's a nostalgia thing for you, because I know the first book started coming out in like 92, 93. So that was even like when I was 2 years old at that point. So there's probably a lot of nostalgia tied to this series, and it's amazing to know that kids still love them to this day and that they're still getting published to this day. So I think that the graphic novel adaptations are kind of interesting. I will say that, and I may do a discussion video on this. I think I may go ahead and plan to shoot that for next week, and I want to kind of talk about the changes that I've been seeing in the publishing industry in regard to graphic novels and what they have noticed in their own market trends and how it is now impacting how many children's and middle grade books and even young adult books are now getting graphic novel adaptations. It's very, very interesting, but I ended up giving that one 4 out of 5 stars. Next one that I read is also for younger readers. This is Birtle and the Purple Turtles by Tara J. Hannon. It was stinking cute, y'all. This was cute. It is a group of purple turtles, and there's one specific turtle who like loves to play tag, and all the other turtles are like, we don't play tag. Like, that's not what we do. We do all these other things, but you want to play tag, and that's just not a thing that turtles do. And so there's this creature that ends up falling from the sky, and you know, this creature is like, okay, I'm not sure what I am, but let's be friends, essentially. And they're like, okay, well, I guess I can be a turtle because we're turtles, until it starts to like sprout feathers. And then it's like, maybe I'm not a turtle. And at first they're like, I want to get rid of these feathers. So like, what is going on with me? Get rid of it. Until eventually they're like, yeah, maybe I can. I don't know. I just thought it was really, really cute and funny and interesting, and just, I don't know. I liked it. It was 4 stars. I thought the artwork was cute. I thought the coloring was cute. Purple's my favorite color, so I'm a little biased, but yeah. Overall, great storytelling and great for younger readers. I think they'd be extremely entertained by it. The next one that I ended up finishing was Club Kickout Into the Ring, and this one is a middle grade graphic novel, and it focuses on a main character by the name of Sasha, who has a solid group of friends, and they're all dealing with the adjustment of going to school, being in a new grade, and they get to school and they quickly find out that all of the art programs have been cut, which is unfortunate. But I think that I appreciated this work because of how it laid out the issues that happen in schools when you cut funding for the arts. And so you have all of these kids who love the arts, who are kind of left with nothing to do, and all of the money is being funneled into the athletics department. And so she ends up going to like this wrestling match with a group of her friends, and then they were like, you know what, since the money is going to a athletics department, we can form our own wrestling team. And they look at it as a way to be able to like practice like costume designing, it's acting, it's choreography, you know, so like dancing in parts. And so they feel like even though it's wrestling and it would be considered a sport, it still allows them to incorporate everything that they love about the arts. This was definitely a love letter to the arts. It was a love letter to kids who adore the arts, and kind of like I guess a sense of support and comfort for those kids who are currently in schools where their art programs have lost their funding. I thought it was great. It definitely tackles middle grade issues that we're all aware of, that middle graders constantly have to deal with, especially with Sasha, and dealing with these like adjustment with friends, a friend who ends up being like not so nice. He's pretty trash. And then also dealing with a friend who is not trash. They just end up having 2 very different interests that lead them into developing friendships with 2 very different groups. And so it's that conversation about like what happens when you grow apart and you and, you know, a person like aren't friends anymore, or not even like not friends, but you're not as close as you were. So you could still be cordial, still chat and passing, check on each other every now and then, but this is not your like day-to-day or everyday best friend anymore. So I enjoyed it, and I ended up giving that one 4 out of 5 stars. 4 out of 5 stars, not 45. 4 out of 5 stars. I then ended up reading the Gingerbread Man. Buttons on a Loose. This is a very young, I would say 5 to 7 graphic novel. It almost reads as a beginner reader. It's a very early graphic novel, literally about a gingerbread man who ends up losing his buttons. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you, this very much so reminded me of the gingerbread man off of Shrek. Not the gumdrop buttons! Like literally, that's That's literally, I could not get that scene out of my head while reading this. And so he's searching the entire school because he can't find his 2 missing candy buttons. It's cute. It wasn't like anything mind-blowing to me. I ended up giving it 3 stars. But I think that if you have a younger reader that is a developing independent reader and they like graphic novels, something like the Gingerbread Man Buttons on the Loose would be a good pick for them. I also ended up reading Curlfriends, New in Town. Now, I had been on hold for this one for a while. This one released last year, and it is about a young girl by the name of Charlie. She's new in town. She's in a military family, a military brat. She moved so many different places, can't really form solid friendships because she's moving so much. And so because of that, when she starts this year, she's determined to get it right. She's like, I'm gonna make an amazing first impression and I'm gonna make friends. And things don't go as planned. Charlie tries to be something that she's not at all, and her new group of friends really do kind of pick up on it pretty easily because some of the things that she like says and she does. I love that this was like, their group was called Curlfriends because of their hair, and I love, of course, incidental positive Black representation, especially in things like hair care, which we saw like 4 different types of like styles and just management of hair depending upon like what character we were focusing in on. And I really appreciated that, and I thought it was interesting, but that wasn't the main focus of the story, which I thought was very interesting because the book is called Curlfriends, so I think you would think automatically, okay, this is going to have to be related to like Black hair culture, but it's not. They are just, that's what they call themselves, Curlfriends, and I think that that's really cute. It is definitely about learning to be yourself and what it's like to constantly have to make new friends. I connected to this one because I went to a different middle school for 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade. I never went to the same middle school for for all of those 3. I never went to the same middle school, and that was tough because I constantly had to make new friends. And middle school, I think, is the most chaotic time in a child's life. There's a lot of transitions happening at that point, and I think that part of me kind of lacked that stability, and it made it so difficult on me. And so I really enjoyed like how Charlie was characterized, and she's very insecure. She's not likable at all times, but she's in middle school, and she's not supposed to be perfect. She's not going to understand what it means to be yourself, especially based off her own experiences. I think I got frustrated reading some of the reviews of this one because the adults were like, oh, well, she was lying and she just wasn't being herself. Like, do y'all remember what you were like when you were kids, when you were teenagers? Like, some of you have become adults and you don't fucking realize that you were once the same damn way when you were a kid, okay? Kids do stuff like this. They pretend to be somebody that they're not because they want to make friends. She was so desperate to make friends that she was willing to lie and lie and lie. Yes, as an adult, I'm like, girl, no. But I'm also in my 30s. I am just reaching a point in my 30s where I literally am becoming settled in my identity. That's when I think a lot of people start to feel comfortable, in your 30s. Because at that point, that's when you really just don't care. Like, I heard 40s is you really do not care. But to expect a middle school kid to have like adult-like behavior is weird to me. It's really weird to me. But yes, overall the artwork was great. I really enjoyed it, and I ended up giving it 4 stars. And the last 2 things that I ended up reading, I'm not going to talk about because I did a live show discussion for it, and I read Crossover Volume 1 and Crossover Volume 2 by Donny Cates, and I gave the first volume 3 stars and I gave the second volume 4 stars. It's a very weird meta comic. Like, it is the strangest thing that I've ever read. I could not really find the words to describe crossover, so I will make sure I link that live show in the card symbol above, so you can get better ideas and thoughts on my experience in reading those comics. Alright y'all, in the comments down below, let me know what you ended up reading in January. As always, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more content, click the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications. If you're looking for ways to support this channel or follow me on social media, all those links will be down in the description box below, and I will be back with another video soon.